let me first talk about the difference between innovation and disruption. And my favorite example is innovation. If we think back to cavemen that first went in and in the Iron Age started making iron tools, and they made short little knives, and those knives over time became swords, and swords suddenly became bigger and bigger, and the Middle Ages and king and country were all about sword making. And then you have that scene in the first Indiana Jones where he's in the streets of Cairo, and the big Arab swordsman comes with the giant scimitar and he's swinging it. Indy reaches into his coat, takes out a Smith & Wesson, one bullet, boom. That's disruption. No one thinks about a sword after that, okay?
Yeah.
So what's happening today is we're seeing industries that did things the same way, and many times, like banking for hundreds of years, are literally being blown to bits overnight by self-made billionaires in their 20s. And this is mind-blowing to most people. So let's break down the self-made billionaire. They have the same 24 hours in a day that you and I do. They're just using it differently. And that's what we're going to talk about a little bit here. So disruption is when new technology allows things that never were possible before. But what you'll quickly realize is most technology was thought of by somebody that had no business purpose in mind. It was invented to do something that people didn't think about. But once it's there, the entrepreneur can say, wait a second, what can I do with it that people didn't think about? So that smartphone that you have in your pocket, that smartphone is a powerful computer, more powerful than what got us to the moon. What can you do with it? So one of my favorite examples is you start thinking about problems in your life. And if you can think of a problem that lots of people have, millions of people, you become a millionaire or billionaire. So there were two young kids in Tel Aviv stuck in traffic. And I live in Los Angeles, which has a lot of traffic, or Moscow, where everybody has the same thing. And it occurred to them that the phone company knew that their phone was in their car and the other guy's phone was in his car. So if their phone said for them to go left and the other guy to go right, there'd be no more traffic. That was the genesis of Waze. And people go, well, wait a second, that takes tons of engineering, da-da-da. How many lines of code in his entire life did Steve Jobs ever write? The answer is 0. Steve wasn't an engineer. I put the first video on a computer. I launched the first online auction. I built e-commerce sites and technology used by billions of people every day. I'm not an engineer either. You can hire people with the skills and talents that you don't have. The only two things you need to succeed are insight and perseverance. It's that simple.